The Substitute by Georgia Wood Pangborn. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Jennifer Dahlman. The Substitute by Georgia Wood Pangborn. The day's heat, for a time made endurable by a small breeze, had been weighed down toward evening by a thunderous humidity. Only along the line of the beach was it tolerable. Miss Marston had sat so long over her coffee that the room was now in twilight, but she had intercepted by a fretful gesture the maid who would have turned on the light. Her dining-room windows overlooked the water. 50 feet below she could see the blurred figures of people on the beach, and could hear their voices at intervals. Among them, the piping staccato of Mrs. Vandoyne's convalescent children, allowed to stay up and be active in the cool of the evening to atone for the languor of the afternoon. Now and then, the fretful cry of an ailing baby overrode the other voices, but the babies that were sent to Mrs. Vandoyne's always got well. That was her very wonderful business, making them well. The heat was like a presence. A thing of definite substance that could be touched, like a drug, too, making the senses strange, distorting distance and time. Although her eyes were upon the ocean, where the foam appeared and vanished dimly in long lines, lit only a little way out by the lights of the pierhead, it was the dark campus of her college town that Anna Marston's vision beheld, and the unsteady foam crest of the waves were girls in white dresses. Long rows of them, coming and going within the obscurity of the trees. "I am 32, said Mrs. Marston aloud, and for that reason thought more keenly about when she was 22. The same heavy air had folded in the evening of her commencement day, yet the girls had not seemed to mind. "I suppose we had plenty of other things to think about," said she. For a while she had gone about the campus with them, singing and laughing, and then, like this, had come to her window seat to think, to decide finally not to marry Willis. And Mary Hannaford came in, Mary Hannaford, to show me her ring. I told her she was silly. Miss Marston moved restlessly. Matters long ago forgotten will upon occasion freakishly insist upon remembrance, approaching suddenly like the surprise of a familiar face in a crowded street. A dream plucks us by the sleeve, and we turn to see a childish countenance which has no more right than our own to inextinguishable youth. Or again, a word or a bar of music causes the barrier of years to fall as though it had never been, and we are in gardens that were dust years and years ago. Having once returned, these revenants keep us company for a while. "I don't see why I should keep on thinking of Mary Hannaford," said Miss Marston, and went on thinking about Mary Hannaford, that perhaps she had not been silly after all, but rather sensible to marry, instead of keeping sulkily to something she called an ideal, as Anna Marston had done. "I wish," said Miss Marston, vaguely, then frowned as the cry of a sick baby came up from the beach. "Children," she said, yet her tone, though troubled, was not exactly that of annoyance. Annoyance does not make the eyes wet. She struck her clutched hand into her open palm, then lay back, drowsily inert in attitude, except that her underlip was caught between her teeth, and her forehead was wrinkled with discontent. She knew that the maids had slipped out for their walk on the beach. They had passed in their black and white, giggling, to the bluff stairs, and their squeals of joy at their release had reached her as soon as they were out of sight. She was alone, therefore, yet she did not feel as if she were alone. Not that there seemed to be another presence in the house, but the house itself had changed. Girls, so many, went in light-footed haste through the halls. The room in which she sat was no longer a conventional dining room. The walls, hidden in shadow, were garishly sprinkled with photographs and college pendants. The cushions of the window seat were bright with college colors, and in a moment more Mary Hannaford would come in, wanting to talk under cover of the darkness about how happy she was, how fortunate above all other girls in the world. Mary Hannaford again! Someone spoke her name. She sat up quickly and was aware of the indistinct pallor of a face. It was by the voice, however, rather than by anything she saw, that she recognized her visitor. "Why, Mary Hannaford," she said, "I haven't seen you for 10 years, and I've been thinking of you all day." The figure came swiftly and seated itself at the other end of the window seat. Anna sank back, her sudden rousing having caused that odd vertigo which is common enough in times of great heat. She could not have said whether for an instant her hand touched that of her guest or not. When the dizziness had passed, Mary was speaking. She sat with her knees drawn up and her hands clasped about them in the attitude Anna so well remembered.